Coming to you live from the Elliott Neighborhood's Historic Secret Society, it's Live in Portland with Chris Franklin! This week, welcome to the stage, comedian Carl Berger, the musician Worth, poetry by Kimberly Udi, director Jerry Bell Jr., Mr. OK of Mr. OK's Essentials, comedy by Kate Nguyen, and music by Worth, with our in-house band, Sexy Marvin and Shy Sean. Now, here's your host. He's pine-scented. It's going down. He's yelling timber. He's a lumberjack, and he's better than okay. He's Chris Franklin!
Give it up for my band, everybody. Sexy Marvin and the Extraterrestrials. Leave it to Portland to have some extraterrestrials in the house band. That's right. We keep it weird. We keep it astronomical. This show's going to be so dope. Thank you all for coming out. A special shout out to everybody who came out to the live show. Special shout out to everybody at home watching. This is Live in Portland, episode 21. And this all started with an idea, guys. I have someone very special in the house tonight because she was with me when that idea occurred in my mind. We were out in Peru watching a sunset. And we thought we were the only ones watching the sunset. The sky was multicolored. It was one of the most beautiful scenes I had ever seen setting over the ocean. And as we take in this moment, we look behind us and we see that 30 people were also sharing this moment together. And as that sun set, we looked into each and everybody's eyes and we shared this moment, a moment of communal joy, a moment of togetherness. Before the sunset, we were strangers. After the sunset, we are united. And that's the essence that I want to bring here to Live in Portland. I want to unite our community upon communal joy, seeing amazing things together, and then seeing each other out in the city. Like, you were there, you were there, you were there. We all are here tonight for Live in Portland, episode 21. And I'd like to bring that someone to the stage tonight. Ashley, come on up. Ashley's been my best friend through this whole journey, my travel partner, someone really special to me, and she's moving on to teach in China. It's coming up very soon, and although I may not look it, I'm heartbroken. But there's a time, we make friendships, and we unite at a certain time, and then we leave each other with the idea of coming back. And Ashley, I can't be more excited for you to start this journey, for you to live in a whole new way, getting lost in China. That sounds like an amazing series. Ashley, you're an educator. You do so much for the community. As we part ways, the community and you, how would you like to see us grow here in Portland?
It's very nerve-wracking being up here, I will say. The only thing I'd like to see is continue to love each other. Love is free. We can give it all day, every day, and it's not a hard thing to do. So just smile every day and love each other and just keep connecting. Yeah.
Whoa. Everybody give it up for Ashley Black. That's not the best way to start out. Well, we've got a comic coming up. I'm very excited to bring him to the stage. He's going to make you all crack up. Carl Berger, come on out.
Keep it going for Chris, everybody. This is going to be totally easy to transition from that really sweet moment to really dumb, crude dick jokes. It is tight. This is the first time I've ever done comedy with a Muppet on stage. Not the first time I've done stuff with a Muppet, though. Am I right? He was there. A little bit about me. My name is Carl. I'm an only child. I don't know what your guys' opinion of only children are, but for me, being an only child, it just means that I don't really fully get the hype about incest porn. You know? Like, I'm gonna watch it. Of course I'm gonna watch it. That shit's hot as hell. But when I do watch it, I've gotta watch it like I'm watching a Woody Allen movie and like pretend I get why people like it. Like, yeah. This is a guy who really loves New York City. I get it. And fucking his daughter. Am I talking about incest porn or Woody Allen, you guys? Come on. No, he did that. He's just a horrible human being. I'm bitter. I'm getting older. Not old, I'm just getting older. I can tell, starting to see the signs. For example, my mom, she just kicked me off the family Brazzers account. Can you believe that? What? Mom? How am I supposed to pay for premium porn in this economy? Are you kidding me? Getting old. I'm getting bitter. I'm bitter about the youths. You guys are familiar. Smallish. Can't go within 500 feet of them. Youths. For some of us. Not all of us. Not all of us have that superpower. But you have to tell me if you do. So stupid. I know, you're right. Somebody who's like, that was stupid. Yeah, I get it. I'm bitter, okay, for this one reason. Kids these days have this one thing that I didn't have when I was a kid. And it's instant and unlimited access to all the porn ever created in the palm of their hand. It's insane. When I was a kid, porn was like a commodity. You had to trade it on the playground, or you had to get a group of friends together, and you would have to go out into the woods and find it in the wild. And I know some of you are looking at me like, what? Porn's not... We could go out in the woods right now. I could find you porn. I guarantee that. I guarantee... Look, a group of 12-year-olds is better at finding porn in the woods than a group of adults is finding a 12-year-old in the woods. That's just a fact. Debate that with me. It used to be, you would go out, you would go into the woods, you would find porn, and then you would get together with your friends, and you would watch it together. It was a bonding experience. Don't look at me like you didn't do that, okay? We all did it. Somebody's like, no. When you say that, it's like, yeah, you probably did. You probably did before you came here. It was a bonding experience. Tell me if this is relatable. My first porn viewing experience, it was at a 12-year-old birthday sleepover. Real quick, I was also 12. This wasn't like last week. This wasn't 27-year-old Carl although I would be the coolest uncle ever. It was like that. It was like that scene in Fight Club where Ed Norton beats the shit out of Jared Leto's face, and there's just like a wall of dudes in the back, just like petrified and like sweaty and shirtless for some reason. We were all shirtless, and it was like a bonding experience. The movie, if you're wondering, is this film called Sweat. And it was about a buxom young blonde who had this thing. She could not sweat. She couldn't cool herself down. And that's a real ailment. It's called anhydrosis. It can cause overheating, heat exhaustion. And if unchecked, could be potentially fatal. And that's insane. It's crazy that I learned that through porn. If you're worried, don't worry. She met a handsome young doctor who immediately prescribed her some fat old cock. And that cured it. That... cured up that nasty anhydrosis right away. But now I know I went through that whole process, and now I'm trying to tell you I'm basically a doctor now because of a 12-year-old birthday sleepover I went to last week. I mean, when I was 12. I'm sorry. No, that was stupid. You're right. God. I'm single, clearly, because of everything I just said. No, I did just go through a breakup 18 months ago. It just, but I'm still talking about it. I'm not a year and a half. I'm bitter. It was a mutual breakup. You guys, you know how this works. You get together, you sit down, hash it out, and then you both mutually come to the decision that I'm a complete asshole with commitment issues, and I'll probably be alone forever. It's funny how two people just come to that conclusion out of nowhere. My problem, though, like it is like I have a problem with like dating, with relationships. It's one big thing. It's just that I'm a man. That's it. I'm just a man. So like I have to be right about everything, and I will fight you if you disagree with me. And I know it's like, I know you're like not laughing because like maybe you know men or you're sitting next to men, but like it's kind of true, like low key. Not even low key. That's just a fact, right? This dude's like, yeah, totally. I was just trying to like, yeah, think of how I can not come off as a total asshole. It's not gonna help. This next story is not gonna help at all. I'm not proud of it, but like I would just get into really petty arguments toward the end of our relationship. For example, my girlfriend, she wanted to buy like a high-end blender, like a $500 blender, which I was like, that's kind of grounds for breaking up. You don't need to spend $500 on a blender to make $2 smoothies. That math doesn't add up. And so she came to me and she was like, okay, I've been doing research and I think I'm going to go with a Vitamix blender. I feel like that's the best blender out there. And I was like, oh, you feel that way? That's cute, because actually Blendtec blenders are the best blender on the market, both at the consumer and professional grade. And she said, well, Vitamix blenders, they spin so fast, they can turn your vegetables into hot soup within minutes. I was like, that's Bush League, Amber. Blendtec blenders, not only do they do that, they have a 3.8 horsepower motor and patented polycarbonate stainless steel blades. They could liquefy an iPhone. And she's like, why would you ever need to liquefy your iPhone? It's not about needing to liquefy your iPhone. I just want to know that I could liquefy my iPhone. You watched Snowden with me. Why don't you get me, Amber? So we broke up. Because I'm an asshole, honestly. And because I would never date a psychopath that thinks a Vitamix blender is better than a Blendtec blender. The rest of the show is just blender material. I'm still clearly 18 months. I don't have health insurance. I can't go to therapy. No, it's sad, but it's not that sad. Like, I'm still an asshole. I'm dating, though. I am dating. It is hard to believe. I'm out there. I'm on the apps. You guys fuck around with the apps? You guys on the apps? Nobody? Silence. You're like, fuck, I hope he doesn't swipe on me. I'm on all the apps. Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, Match, HelloFresh. Don't kink shame me. Whatever. What is a kumquat even? Is that a sexual command or an overpriced garbage fruit? I don't know. I want to find out. This is all about learning and self-love. I've realized, though, that like the real trendy thing right now, at least on the dating apps, is like being ethically non-monogamous. You guys fucking around with that shit? Poly people in the house tonight? No? Statistically, that's inaccurate. Like, I don't know, like there's like one couple here where the dude's like, well, she's not, but I am. That's how it works. Polyamory, I don't know. I get it. Like, polyamory is, to me, it's like a lot like communism. You know what I mean? Like, it should work. Like, in theory, that checks out perfectly every time. But when you bring people into the mix, somebody's always going to get run over by a tank. You know what I mean? An emotional tank. Settle down. An emotional tank. Unless you're dating Michael Dukakis, and then you've got something to worry about. And I know you're not laughing because you don't get that joke, but it is so much funnier than you think. You got to go home and Google Michael Dukakis. I just gave you, like, laugh bucks for your chuckle bank for when you go home and Google that. I got excited, though. I matched with this woman, and she had like a likes and a dislikes column, and under likes it was like watching the sunset, taking her dogs on hikes, hanging out, drinking margaritas with her girls. I can get down with all that. My likes too, for sure. Dislikes column. She only had one thing: small dicks. That was it. Small dicks? Are you kidding me? You don't even have to say that. Nobody likes small dicks. People with small dicks don't even like small. We all get 100 emails a day that is like offering us pills to cure our small dicks, and like 50% of us don't even have dicks. Nobody likes that, but I can't hate on that. I can't be mad at like what anything like a woman says to me online. I get, because I have female friends who showed me what men will write to them on the internet. Some of you are women, you might know. It's crazy. Like, if you're a woman on a dating app and you don't respond to a dude within the first, 15 seconds, you just get, 27 death threats and 3 dick pics. Like, he's just trying to write out the, opening scene of a Law & Order SVU script in real time. And I think that's because we're not watching porn with our friends anymore, so go out there, do the right thing, you guys. That's all I'm saying. My name's Carl Berger. Have a wonderful evening.
Carl Berger, everybody. Come on up. We got to talk. Thanks for really opening up the room, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, where can most people find you when you do your comedy?
I don't know, everywhere. There's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of comedy in Portland. You got to just kind of look for it.
Awesome. Look up Carl Berger. Also on social media. Where can they find you?
Social media. At the Carl Berger is my Twitter. I don't post dick pics, so that's an upside.
Cheers to not posting dick pics. And for Carl Berger, everybody. Thank you for coming out, Carl. My next guest, we're going to have the privilege of watching him perform. I've been watching him on YouTube all morning, and I am so excited for him to perform his music. But first, we've got to learn about him. Worth, can you come up to the stage? Worth, everybody.
Hello.
Christopher, like I've said, I've been listening to your music all morning. I'm really excited to have you here. It's an honor and a privilege. What struck me most is the texture of your voice. And I just want to get the origin story. I want to hear where that all came from, when you really felt in tune with your voice and your music.
It actually happened kind of randomly when I was a sophomore in college. I didn't sing for most of my life. And I had to do, I wanted to be an actor, and I got into West Side Story as a jet. It's very serious. And I had to sing, and I was like, that's not a thing that happens. And the guy's like, just try it out, it'll be okay. And he kind of encouraged me, and then I just was around these other singers, and it kind of, something flipped in me, and it sort of, something clicked, and it changed sort of the trajectory of my life from that point. And actually now I teach singing lessons and try to facilitate that moment for other people, because it changed my life.
Yeah, wow. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful. A lot of the essence of Live in Portland is where your passion meets your purpose, meets the place that you give back to the community. And I think it's so special that you found that, and you're now sharing it with the children. Tell me about your origin.
I don't teach children.
Adults. All ages.
Okay, I do sometimes.
Tell me about your origin story.
Is that a cock block? Is that like a cock block?
Tell me about your origin stories in Oregon.
Like how I was born?
No,
I was
no.
conceived in the middle of the Burnside Bridge.
Are you born and raised in Portland?
Yeah, I'm from Portland.
That's awesome. Where did you grow up?
I grew up right by Lewis and Clark College.
So you've seen Portland change over the years.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, I wasn't really an artist. So I didn't get the same touch on the feel of the city, that I did when I started being in that community. So I can't say that I was in touch with it the whole time. But yeah, I've seen it kind of grow up around itself.
Yeah. And if there were things you would retain, something from the past that you see needs attention, what would you say really needs that encouragement to have a good stakehold here in Portland?
Well, the one thing I've noticed is that there's this ebb and flow of excitement that collects, and it only collects in actual physical proximity. I don't think this can be redone online. It doesn't have the same gravity, and that definitely has happened here, and it kind of creates this like wave that comes in. And the sad but inevitable thing, and not necessarily sad, is that as that comes up, you get this ratio of innovators to spectators going like this. Mm-hmm. And the innovators are the ones that take the chance to go to the new place and are probably creating a lot. And it's not necessarily bad that there are like spectators there, but when that ratio gets too big or too skewed, then the innovators move. So yeah. I would encourage everyone to tap into innovation and creativity and to their artistry, because I think that's where that like mojo lies. And also where there's no violence. No violence exists there.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. You just had a big show just last week. You just flew into town, and you've got a pretty steady schedule throughout the rest of summer. Where are some of the places we could find you playing?
Well, the thing I would like to invite you to join me at, and I'm appreciating being here because I didn't know about this show, but I feel you. And I host songwriter nights, and I do one in the winter at Atlantis Lounge. That one's all ages, and in the summer I'm doing one on the patio at Star Theater. I found myself sort of complaining with like so many people coming here that the like juice was being diluted, and then I realized that I was becoming diluted and needed to take action and like post up for what I thought the space I thought needed to be there. And so that's what I've been doing. You're all invited. I like to connect all the beauty that's happening here too, and I think it's really important for the artists to come together, and I believe everyone would like to like really be in that seat of creativity together and just like have a scene where we push each other to be better and to create even better stuff. I know this guy on the keyboard here does the same thing. Chachon. Anyway, so I would say that. Like the last show I had was at Blues Festival. That was really fun. Mm-hmm. I love the Blues Festival. Super good crew of people. Most of them are volunteering. It's a pretty special thing we have here. Other than that, I don't have a specific show, but I would invite you to come join me there. It's 6 to 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. It's free. It's chill. It's awesome.
Super dope. Well, I know a show that you guys should all see him at. That's later tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on stage, Christopher. Before you leave, where can my guests find you on social media?
My website and Facebook are We Are Worth, and my Instagram is Worth Music. And I got a couple albums out. Love to share some stuff with you. Love to hear your music, connect the dots. So say hello.
Connecting dots. Thank you, Christopher. All right. Cheers to that. It's so amazing to have the artists share the stage. It's incredible. It's uplifting to our community, and it means so much. And keeping the show going, I'm excited to bring out a poet. She wrote something very special for a documentary called Red, White, and Black, which focuses on minority winemakers. Kimberly, Udi, come on out.
Called The Crush. We all know that some of the greatest love stories begin with a crush. Like the moment the sun laid eyes on the horizon and declared with romantic authority, "You are the altar upon which I'll champion morning and night across endless ribbons of time zones, you bringing to view the better part of me, and me the better part of you. We will rise and fall in unison and whisper into the dreams of the dreamers. Wake up, baby, because this is the situation. So begins these long love affairs with the sun 92 million miles away from its lover, yet still causing trouble with those public displays of affection across the backdrops of oceans and mountain ranges and down into the heart of our very own wine country, where those love rays soak into the earth and stoke the fire that burns inside the vine's heart, turning grapes into gold for the lips of the winemaker who bottles those kisses and whispers, wake up, baby, because here's the situation. From the bonding ties of struggle to the love crush of fruit, dreamers turn land into cellars and cellars into conversations that give voice to the stories that have been long untold and silenced. Conversations in tasting rooms become less about wine profiles and more about ending racial profiling. Less about pretense and more about social change and liberation of bodies from the blues of the steel-barreled streets. Less about building walls and more about bridging gaps for opportunities to lift the glass to raise the collective consciousness. More about removing barriers to who we can love and where we can live and who can capture the tears of our children's cries. Because the earth does not separate, the sun does not discriminate, and love does not segregate. And our awareness is our agency, and our solidarity is the greatest love story ever told. So let's wake up, baby. We got a situation that calls for action, a love crusade, like the way the earth transforms the sun and the sun the earth, so the winemaker transforms food into wine and wine into an elixir that gathers community who drink the cure to transform the pain of humanity's and its ancient wound. We all know that art remains one of the greatest acts of subversion, and if equality is the skyline, then we are installation art, lifting our glasses towards freedom and toasting our love pioneers, Bertoni, Andre, Jared, Jesus, Remy, and JB, and those who came before them, and those who will become because of them. Here's to the red, white, and black. Thank you.
Kimberly Udi, everybody. Whew, I'm a little taken back by that. We get to learn more about the red, white, and black because we have the director here with us. Supporting minority-owned businesses, particularly in an industry that has rejected so much of it. Here in Oregon, it's important that we tell the stories of the people often unheard. And I'm so excited to bring a man who's done just that, Mr. Jerry Bell Jr. Come on out.
Yes. I got the audience. Cameraman. My people's in the back supporting. Bartender. Hey, show love for the bartender.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey man, before you introduce me or get too deep into it, I've always wanted to do a live within a live. You know, take it down like, is it like a live black hole?
This is,
It's
just repeating
so, live
energy.
black hole, yeah. Christopher Franklin, y'all.
Woo!
And the extraterrestrials and shit back there. This shit's cool as fuck, man. All right.
Jerry,
Yeah.
we got to get into it.
I'm ending my live video. Okay, we're done. I'm back. He's back. Thank you guys for the warm welcome.
I met Mr. Jerry Bell Jr. in an acting class when I first moved to Portland. And I was like, oh, dude, black people are here. That's dope.
Yeah. Two. 3. I saw the 4, 5. Okay.
So, I mean, as that time passed, I saw you progress. Mr. Swiffer Dad himself.
Swiffer. I have to explain that to some of y'all. Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about, but go ahead.
Director, actor on Leverage, now a public speaker. Like, watching you is one of the most motivating things to be a part of, like, just because I get to see that interaction. Tell me a bit about your drive and what makes you get up in the morning and do everything that you do.
Wow, you went deep on me. I didn't get a briefing on this question before we came here, but, you know, I come from a really, really rough background, you know. I grew up in the streets of Atlanta, and, you know, I was kind of pushed against on trying to reach my goals and my dreams. You know, I had someone in my life that was a huge negative influence, and even though I can't stand this person to this day, right, I can say that he kind of created a motivation in me to prove him or anybody that doubts me wrong. And when I decided to step out of the corporate world of, you know, technology, and I found my creative side here in Portland. Portland helped me find my creative side. I'm from Atlanta, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this because people say you can't be an actor, it's hard to do, right? And then I did it. I went out and I've accomplished some things. I want more, but it transitioned into directing film, into you know, public speaking for motivation and inspiration, and then to, you know, having my own wine, Director's Crush, coming out here September 15th. We got a release date. Director's Crush. When you look at the bottle, you know, it talks about the film The Red, White, and Black, which I directed very recently, about minority winemakers in Oregon. And we talk a little bit about the history of Oregon, highlight a lot of it, because a lot of people from here don't even know the history and why there's not a lot of diversity here. But the film highlights that. Then again, in the wine industry, which is really challenging if you weren't given 1 square mile of land because you were white, a white male, you know, and these minorities, we talking Black, Hispanic, Asian American, women, LGBTQ community who are making wine in the industry that's pretty much owned by white males. So, yeah, so the evolution of deciding to step away from the norm, you know, kind of showed me that creativity can go a long way. I even have my own wine coming out, so.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
The back talks about me, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm glad to see that you all, you know, like 60% of you are excited. So that makes me excited.
Yes, Jerry, this is a special.
I'm excited.
You should be excited, and we should also be excited because this is a very special day. Jerry
Yes,
Bell
yes.
Jr., this is your birthday.
It's my birthday, too. It's my birthday. And he asked me, we talked about it, and I say, I want to come party with your peoples, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're beautiful. Beautiful Portland people.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, a few more Black people would be nice, but I feel like you guys can relate. I feel like you can relate, so, and that's great.
And you hit on a few subjects of the documentary, which has been previewing throughout Portland from weeks to weeks, and always growing, always getting bigger. I went to the premiere in the Hollywood Theater, and it was just fantastic to see. Jerry, tell me more about like what this movie, this documentary means to you. What is the gear that clicked in your head that said, I have to do this?
Okay, first of all, my business partner, Bertoni Foster.
Woo!
Woo! He happens to be here. He is documented as the first Black winemaker in Oregon. And he's Asian American. He's Black. And I want to highlight that. And, you know, because some people get confused, right? It's like, hey, do I call you African American? You know, do I call you colored? Or do I call you Negro? No. Black. Because we got Jamaican American. I mean, seriously, this is something to really think about. We got Jamaican American who's Black. We got Asian American who's Black. It's like, just say Black. I'm Black, and I'm proud. Say it loud.
I'm black
Say
and
it
I'm
loud.
proud.
Director's crush.
Yeah. So going on with that, inspiration, Bertoni Foston, who deserves all the claps we could possibly give in this room.
Bertoni Foston, Abbey Creek Winery in North Plains. It's like one of the closest wineries you can get to, and he called it the Crick. And the difference is, here's the difference between traditional wine. The traditional, glass swirling, the smell, look at the vineyards out, over the land. You go to Bertoni's place, you got some music, a little hip hop, a little urban feel. You're drinking wine, people are socializing and hanging out. It's not the highbrow. That's the word I learned.
Yeah.
It's not the highbrow. And that's the difference. We're bringing culture and change to the wine industry. Who got their phone on in here? Really? Really? During my time,
Jerry, so the documentary is just one of the things you do.
Yes. Yes.
You're an accomplished actor.
I am so distracted back there.
What is going
Okay, go
on?
ahead. All right,
okay.
anyway.
You're an accomplished actor, turned motivational speaker.
Yes, very recently.
Let's talk about that. Because, you have so much wisdom to impart. And I could see as a creative artist, you do it in a multitude of ways. It seems like speaking for you has become something very in tune with your vision. And tell me about what you deliver and what you give when it comes to the energy that you have inside of you.
I would honestly say as an artist, and I feel like there's a lot of artists in here, it's like you have this vision, but it don't necessarily always work out the way you think it's going to work out. So I'm not going to sit here and say I had this vision of being a motivational speaker, of being a director. My passion was around being an actor when I left the corporate world, and what happens when you reach out outside of your box, the journey can become endless. And here I am, this company reached out to me and said, hey, you're an inspiration. We'd like to hear your story. And that, to me, allowed me to look back within myself and really understand who I am and what I bring to the table. And it feels good to have a seat at the table. I think it's really important to have a seat at the table, to be able to sit back and say, hey, this is how I grew up, and this is where I'm at now, and I'm proud of it. And then the rest is it just falls in place. I don't have like a special tool that makes it special.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people relate to it and they understand it, and it feels good. Everything it's been an amazing journey, an amazing creative journey that I'm very grateful for.
Yes. Jerry, I'm so grateful to have you here tonight. You are an inspirational voice. You give voice to even more inspirational voices. It's such a beautiful work that you do. And we're really fortunate in Portland to have you here. For my audience who may want to reach out and get in touch with you, how can they reach you on social media?
Okay, so we have a couple of websites you can go to. The redwhite-black.com. You can go there. You can hear about the film, about minority winemakers in Oregon. And you can order the wine. In about 4 days, this wine is going to be available for order. We're going to have a big release party. I'm pretty sure Christopher's going to make sure you know about it if you're a follower of his. You can go to abbeycreekwinery.com. You can go to JB Junior Productions, which is my production company. You can look me up on actor Jerry Bell Jr. on the Facebook, or Jerry Bell Jr. You can reach out to me personally. What else? Instagram, Jerry Bell Jr. Yeah, so it's a whole lot going on.
Dope.
I'm in the middle of the social media world, so yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
Jerry Bell Jr., everybody.
And can I say one more thing? I just want to say that Kimberly Udy, to get up, and she's a writer, and she's developing as a poet, and I think her writing is amazing. And she wrote the piece you guys got right before this. It was written around the red, white, and black, and helping reach out and find equality for everybody, right? We all should be playing on the same level, operating on the same level, and love each other. I've been hearing a lot of good love in here tonight. It's all about love, and it's free. right?
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Jared. Thanks for coming out. Oh. So beautiful, so beautiful. Guys, Jerry and I have something in common in that we've teamed up with Abbey Creek Winery to perform what we need to do, in our cities. Like we see a vision of people who are unheard. For Jerry, it's minorities in the wine industry, and he's done such a great job telling that story. For me, it's recognizing the precious jewel that we have here, and that is our creative artists. And it's such a privilege to live in a city where people can express themselves. But they can't continue to express themselves if we do not support them. We must get behind them. We must go to the shows. We must buy their goods. We have such a strong community to support. And my next guest is a true testament to that. And I'm so happy to bring them on. Precious and Bricky from Mr. OK's Essential. Come on out. We're going to put this candle right here so you all could just balance out. Oh my God, that smells so good. You'll get it. You'll get it when it hits you. Let me grab one more mic. You want to grab that?
How are we doing tonight?
Doing great. Precious, Bricky, Mr. OK's Essentials. Let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about the name and the inspiration behind the name.
Well, I was once pregnant. And about 15 months ago, I had a little boy named Onyx King. And when we first had him, babies cry all the time. And we would be like, Mr. Okay, it's okay, man. Like, it's okay. And I was off, work for 6 months. And when you just home alone with a kid, well, you don't know.
No,
but
I don't.
for everyone else out there who has children, when you're home alone with a kid and your other half is just out working and, hanging out with their friends and doing good stuff, and you got a kid on your nip sucking all the time,
okay.
Just going at it.
I'm feeling
and you
it.
just, you can't go outside, your hair all crazy, you can't put no makeup on, you can't
there.
do nothing. Yeah, you there?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
You feel me? Okay. I'm glad we on the same page. So, that's how it happened. I was laying in a bed, and Onyx was feeding, and I was like, you know what? I can't really fuck with Yankee Candle no more.
Yankee Candle,
I
right?
can't do it. The smell, you walk in, the smell was just potent. I just wanted something that was, natural. So I was like, Bricky, I want to make candles. And he said...
And my response is, as long as you don't leave us destitute.
That was his response. And I said, okay, whatever. I was just like, all right, I guess. So I did crazy amounts of research, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to have any regular candle. I want my candles, our candles, to be...
Nice catch.
I just help out with production. I don't do any of the creative.
I was like, I want our candles to be something that people, just vibe with. You feel me? You walk into a room, you this is curated. This is carefully curated.
Yeah.
This ain't no Yankee Candle right here. This is different. This is Mr. OK's Essentials.
Okay.
So, I went through the whole studying thing, understanding the difference between a cotton wick and a wet wick, and our candles are all wet wick candles, made cedar wick, cut by hand. We got factories on deck. But yeah, it was I went through that whole session of just carefully picking out scents and making sure that it was scents that didn't just give you a headache.
Right.
It was more so stuff that you walked in a room and you was like, oh, what is that? Okay, all right, I got you. That's basically how it started.
Nice. So, I mean, you do use all natural products.
Everything is natural.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I bought an overpriced candle, but what I loved about it was the cedar wick.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, changes the whole candle game.
Panty droppers.
Oh, man. There's a little pop to it.
You can see it.
And you did your studying. Tell me a bit about that. Like, why cedar wicks, and how did you come up with that idea?
Well, the thing about it is that, so I'm from Miami. We don't have wood-burning stoves or fireplaces or anything. Bricky introduced me to that. And I remember, because he's from Montana. Miami, Montana, two different things. So he...
That's a whole different story.
He introduced me to just, like, wood burning and just like that sound of being like super cozy and understanding that when you have like a cotton wick, it creates soot, which is really bad for your lungs.
Yeah.
Whereas wooden wicks cut from cedar, wood basically clarifies your air. It's like sage. So not only is it a panty dropper, it's just making sure everything inside you is right. You know, your energy is centered, everything's aligned. But yeah, it was just like going through that whole process and just making sure that the scents, everything was just all natural from essential oils. Just like making sure that everything was dialed in. I mean, we in Portland.
Yeah,
Ain't
it's
no
gotta
bullshit.
be. Yeah.
Gotta be right.
Portland.
So we were talking about sensuality.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about the body butters.
Oh, you want to talk about the body butters?
Let's talk about the body butters.
So we also have body butters. And the reason why the body butters came into the line was because of the fact that Onyx had really bad eczema. Mm-hmm. And it's like you go out and you buy all this store-bought stuff. I'm in Target, like, what can I get for my baby? My baby itching. I'm itching because he itching. We feeling the pain. I mean, you wouldn't know because you didn't breastfeed. But the pain that I'm having with my baby, I just needed to find something that was just pure for him. And I couldn't find nothing that wouldn't make him break out. So once again, I'm on a research tip.
Right.
Searching. And I was like, I can make this.
Yeah.
So I made it.
Yeah.
And now we have it.
Yeah.
And it's in our line.
Nice.
And you can get it.
Right here at the table.
Right there. In the back.
You got one more product, your sour soaps.
Soaps, yes. So, once again, Onyx,
Yeah.
as a mom, you know, you just give out your all for your kid. And he was just, we put him in a bath. He was getting these patches. It was just like, it's heartbreaking because you want your kid to be out here looking like a Gerber baby, you know, out here on the scene. And he got like little ras patch. And I was just like, we can't do that. So I said, Breaky, I want to make soaps. And he said,
Well, as long as you don't leave us destitute.
And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I went in, learned how to make soaps. You know, I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping, I'm cooking, and now we have soaps.
Yeah.
And they're pretty dope.
Yeah. So it's obvious that your innovation came through, you know, trial. Like you wanted to make sure that Mr. OK was okay.
He had to be okay.
Yeah.
He had to be.
And you delivered that. And you started doing production.
Yeah.
And you've done some markets.
Yes.
Tell me about the growth of Mr. OK's.
Well, she's definitely on the creative side. I had actually worked on a little bit of production previous to this, so it was something where I had a little bit more expertise in that. And that's where I kind of helped out, because she definitely has the creative tip taken care of. And so basically she did the sourcing. She did a lot of hunting down and narrowing down. I did a little bit of the figuring out how to work the wholesale aspect with the different sourcing, and that's how we started getting the ball rolling on everything.
That's absolutely beautiful. You guys got together, you made a baby, and now you got another baby.
Off the baby that we made from the baby, yeah.
You did so well. For my audience here and my audience at home, where can they get in touch with you and where can they find your products?
You can find us on Instagram, the big A. Mr. Proper Way, MISTER, OK's Essentials. And then when you go there, there's our Etsy page. So we live.
I'm so happy to have you here because you are truly the model and representation of what we could find here in Portland. You know, people who will go the next level to refine their product because it's something that not only you're going to use for yourself, but you want to share with the community.
That's what it's all about.
that's exactly what it's all about. So I want to give a big round of applause for Precious and Bricky of Mr. OK's Essentials. Thank you so much for coming out.
And just on another tip, it is my birthday.
Oh, yeah. It's Bricky's birthday, everybody. We got so many birthdays in the house. What horoscope sign is that? Cancer. I don't know what that means, but... Guys, once again, thank you to Mad Hippie and Abbey Creek for making this happen. They support us in so many ways because they get behind their community. They are both Portland-based businesses that really love and support this city. So a big round of applause for Mad Hippie and Abbey Creek. My next guest, she's a comedian. She's got her show every Thursday. She's so accessible in the city, and I feel like you should really go and support her, and you're going to see why. Katie Nguyen, come on out.
That was nice, huh? Get one of those. Get rich. Everybody says when they get rich, they'll buy a mansion. You gotta get a house band. A roller skating house band. Follow you everywhere. Is that? All right, yeah, I can do that. That's a shoulders move. Every move, if you don't know what it is a shoulders move. That's a when in doubt, do shoulders. People like that. You guys like that? I know that. I know that you like that. That's why I'm doing it. That's how you harbor goodwill amongst people. People say you should mirror people, do what they're doing. I just say just do shoulders. This makes you a little approachable and smart, right? You know a lot to be coordinated, right? I've never done this before. This is freeing. How are you all tonight? You having a good time? Excellent. I'm having a good time too. My day job, I work with kids, and I think a lot about the advice that we give to kids and how most of the time it's way easier said than done, you know? Like if kids have been made fun of, all we tell them, all we say is, you know what, you just say, I am rubber and you are glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. And my experience has been a lot more like, I am Tupperware and you are tomato sauce. Whatever you say becomes a part of me and ruins me forever. This candle's making me feel better, though. Man, it smells real good. You think if I stand near a candle for a long time, will I smell like the candle? Is that how that works? Is that osmosis? Yeah, that's good. I'll absorb its power. That's how it works. I mentioned I work with kids. I work with teenagers specifically, and I really like working with teenagers. They're this really magical stage in life. They're finally starting to explore and learn more about the world around them and how things work, issues like politics and religion and sex and that kind of thing. But they're still so young. They just still lack the necessary life experience to understand how nuanced and complicated and related everything is. So they've gotten to this point where they think they finally have it all figured out. And they still have no idea whatsoever. And this was really beautifully evidenced in class one day. I was talking to the students, and I'm a Spanish teacher, and it came up with the fact that nobody ever assumes that I speak Spanish because of how I look and racism. Yeah, those two things. And they asked me, and they're like, has anybody ever talked about you in Spanish around you and assumed you didn't know what they were saying? And I was like, yeah, that's happened a handful of times. And they got super excited. They're like, what'd they say? And I wasn't going to quote verbatim, so I just said, just some of the crude stuff that some men like to say about women. And at this point, this 14-year-old boy, who'd not at all been paying attention before that point, all of a sudden his little ears kind of like prick up, and he looks up, and he gets this grin of like recognition on his face. He's like, I know this. And he says out loud, very confidently to the entire class, he goes, talking about wieners, right? Which was adorable. It was so cute. He understood enough to know that typically in the kind of situation people are objectifying people, right? We're talking about people's bodies or focusing on the reproductive organs. Like he knew that much, which is quite a bit, right? He just didn't know in that kind of situation you're typically not like talking about your own. right? Typically. And I'm just trying to imagine what this 14-year-old boy thinks grown men say about their wieners. Right? And like the only thing I can think of is maybe two dudes are on a sidewalk, right? And and a woman walks by, and they both notice her, and they elbow each other. And then one of them says to the other, he goes, did your wiener move? So my wiener totally moved. Put her there. So men talk, right? I see you. I heard these two pop songs on the radio recently, and they're totally different songs, but I found the lyrics interesting in the exact same way. This first song's by this woman, and she's repeating over and over again throughout the entire song. She's singing, she's going, I'm a cool girl, I'm a cool girl. And I was like, sure, it's a good song. But then I heard this other song by Rihanna that got really famous, and I'm sure many of you have heard it. It's just her repeating over and over again throughout the entire song. She's singing, she's going, sex with me is so amazing. And I was like, I didn't know we could do that. Like, I had no idea we could just write and sing songs simply of what we want other people to think about us and make like a ton of money off of it. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've developed some new career goals. I've been working really hard, and I've written a bunch of songs, and I think I might actually be kind of good at it. I actually have a few songs I'd like to share with you tonight, if it's cool. Okay, cool, good. I just need 100% honest feedback, okay? Because I really think this could be a new path for me. Okay, so the first song I wrote goes like this. Look at me, I'm 6 feet tall. Look at me, I'm 6 feet tall. Look at me, I can see the top of the fridge. I totally know what's up there. I do so much stuff that I can see. So that's just one song I wrote? Thank you. Oh, wow, thank you. Okay, good, this is good. Positive reinforcement. I actually have another song. This other song is kind of a club, kind of dance beat. Some of you might enjoy this more. And it goes like this. I never ever eat food off the floor. Never ever eat food off the floor. I never ever eat food off the floor. Never ever eat food off the floor. Never ever. Thank you. Wow. Like I said, I think I might be kind of good at this. Okay. I actually have another song. I know, I'm like a factory. And this song is really personal, so it's kind of hard for me to write it. And I hope you can appreciate it. And it goes like this. I totally don't still think about that time in 5th grade when my crush Ben Grady said I had a mustache. I totally don't think about that. 5th grade when my crush was getting, oh my God. That song is called Fuck You, Ben Grady. Thank you, fuck you, Ben Grady. Thank you, fuck you, Ben Grady. Thank you so much. Something you can tell by looking at me, you can tell that I'm a woman of color, and something that happens when you're part of minority groups, if you're queer or person of color or woman or non-binary, something like that, is that people like to point out to you that you're a member of those groups and then tell you what that means. Right, which is really weird. So, for example, if you get booked on a show, if you get a job or something, people have no problem walking up to you and saying in your face, oh, so you were a diversity hire. Which is a really fucked up thing to say, right? It's really messed up. And you want to get angry, right, and say no. But the nature of diversity hires is that you technically don't know that. Which is this really weird thing, right? So you want to be angry, you want to answer back, but it actually you wouldn't know if you were, right? You like to think you get on your merit and accomplishment, but you'll never truly know. So it's this really kind of insidious kind of microaggression that makes you doubt yourself. So I never really quite know what to say to those people when they say, oh, you're diversity hire, you're diversity booking. So I've been trying to rack my brain to figure out an appropriate response to that. So I think I figured it out. So the next time somebody walks up to me and tells me, oh, so you were a diversity hire, I'll just be able to respond and be like, oh, a diversity. No. I wasn't a diversity hire, no. I was an adversity hire. Yeah. I wasn't hired to bring an underrepresented perspective to the table. No, I was hired to start shit and make things real difficult for everybody around here. Right? I'm an adversity hire. It's a new HR initiative. Yeah. I'm here to build character. Your character. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. It's a sticky mic. You guys like you get sticky hands? Like I might. You ever know? Anytime I eat pancakes, I end up with sticky hands. You guys get that? Like how you. I'm 30 years old. No matter what, if I eat something with like 1% chocolate in it, no matter what it is, it like ends up right in the corners of my mouth. It's very embarrassing. I'm very hypervigilant about the chocolate around the corners of my mouth. Some people, it's not a privilege I have to not have to worry about the corners of my mouth when I eat chocolate. You guys already know a lot about me. Something else kind of personal about me is the fact that I'm a very, very sweaty and oily person. Yeah, I'm very sweaty and oily. And I spend a lot of time trying to not look so sweaty and oily, like a lot. You know, the media just tries to make you want what you don't have, right? Like if you have curly hair, you want straight hair. If you have one skin tone, you know the skin tone. Well, I found out that there is this look being marketed by cosmetics companies, and you may have seen this, and it's called looking dewy. Have you seen this? This is the thing. If you don't know what looking dewy is essentially looking kind of sweaty and oily. Yeah, which is great for me. But it's got me thinking, though, you know, because there's a lot of beauty standards that I think I understand and the implications they might have if you see them. For example, if a woman's wearing high heels, her legs will look elongated. You might be like, oh, maybe she's like a dancer or something. You know, she's like really flexible. You know, like in bed. Or she's got like the smoky eye look going on. You might be like, oh, maybe she's like exotic or something. You know, and she's like extra sensual. You know, like in bed. But if she's looking dewy, it's got to be like, oh, maybe she like passed out on the lawn last night in bed. I get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's this other newer beauty standard I'm sure you've heard of by now. It's very famous by now. It's called the Thigh Gap. Have you heard of this? The Thigh Gap. It's got its own Wikipedia page. Which means it's more successful than any of us. Myself included, it's okay. If you don't know what the thigh gap is, it's basically like if you put your feet together and you have a hole right here. That's supposed to be really pretty. Right there. You got a hole right there. You're hot spot for a hole right there. Them's the rules, hot spot for a hole right there. Hot spot for a hole. I like how I look. As you can see, I don't have a thigh gap. But don't worry, I do have several mysterious dents in my skull. That's kind of like the same thing, right? Thigh gap, skull dent, thigh gap, skull dent. Just missing flesh where there normally is some, you know. Feels real good. Have you ever held a Smarties candy between your thumb and index finger just because it feels perfect? Yeah, it's kind of like that. You guys have been so wonderful. I'm Katie Wynn. Thank you so much.
Katie, before you leave.
Oh yes, sure. Here we go. Let's dance.
Let's talk about your residency every Thursday.
Yeah, Earthquake Hurricane at Ford Food and Drink every Thursday. Come on out. 8 o'clock every Thursday. There's a little lunge for you. Just pull you in. I draw you out and I pull you in. Jeez.
And for my audience here, my audience at home, how could they get in touch with you through social media?
Yeah, social media, KT Nuggin, KTNUGGIN, or my website, katie-wynn.com. I'm on Facebook. Look me up anywhere. Katie Wynn. Look for the lunge.
Katie Nguyen, everybody! Thank you. My next guest, you've seen Worth. He's coming out with my dear friends, Lost in Portland alumni, Live in Portland alumni, Amanda and Jenny from Acoustic Minds. So happy for all of them to come out. But first, I have to bring you a message from Masterpiece with Annalise.
Hi, I'm Annalise Cleopatra, and this is your celestial forecast for Monday, July 9th. So this Thursday, I know Mercury gets a bad rap, but it's going to be at its highest point in the evening horizon, so make sure you look west just after sunset to try and catch it. It's going to be a really good time to photograph. On Friday, we've got a new moon. It's going to be great. Let's hope for clear skies so we can look at our beautiful Milky Way. And it'll also be a partial solar eclipse that's only visible in extreme southern Australia and Antarctica. So shout out to Portland, Antarctica. We're with you. Now we know that the new moon isn't the greatest day for planting, so this is a good week to weed out your beds and prepare them so next week you can get your seed beds started for your fall crops. At the farmers market this week, you can look out for broccoli, cauliflower, collards. All those brassicas are doing really well and going to be really fresh, so make sure you ask about those. We've also got lots of cherries going on. Those cherry blossoms gifted us these beautiful little thingies, so pick them off your neighbor's tree and don't tell them I sent you. And last, you can get some apples. Apples are popping. Go to an orchard, get some cider, do some tasting, and have some fun this week. Thanks for watching, and back to Chris at Live in Portland.
All right, everybody. Worth.
I am worth, you are worth, we are worth. This is just a reminder. Such as the river, such as life, flowing down the hill into the sky. Traveling wherever this world takes me. How now I am a cloud soon to be coming down. In the bayou, where I got my name. Way down in the bayou, babe, where I got my name. See, I've been a lost man in a full-ass town, and the good Lord gonna come and take me home. Way down in the muck and the dirt, where I got my name. Way down in the bayou, where I got my name. I got my main name. I've been a lost man in a full-ass town. And the Lord gonna come and take me home. He gonna take me home to the land of snow, where the clouds below. He take me to the promised land. 'Cause I've been waiting so long. in the bayou where I'm growing old. But Lord will come and take me home, 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 home. Yeah, Lord, no. Let's take the bridge now. All my past regrets, demons sing from the darker side, and they're with me when I ride. Oh, the angels sing from heaven's pen will lay me down by the riverside. No one there. See, I've been a lost man in a forgotten town. And good Lord, don't come and take me home. Don't take me home to the land of snow where the clouds below. He take me to the promised land. I've been waiting so long. He take me to the promised land. I've been waiting so long. In the bayou where I'm growing old. Yeah, I'm come and take me home, 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 home. Way down, way down, 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 where I got my name. Thank you very much, everybody. Hold on to me. Stay strong. Please don't leave. Blood in your eye, demon disguised in wait. And I couldn't fight if I would run away. In the dark corners of your mind, in the dark of the midnight, won't you stay here with me? Hang on, hold on to me. Stay strong, please don't leave. Swear on your brow, angels surrounding me. Here with you
hope and aloud to pray. Do on your lips, dawn in the light of day. In the dark corners of your mind, in the dark of the midnight, whoa, in the dark, turn on the light, in the dark, the end is near inside, if you stay here with me. Stay here with me. Thanks very much. Jenny and Amanda of Acoustic Mind, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Worth. I am Worth. You are Worth. We are Worth. This is just a reminder. You can find me online at weareworth.com. Thank you guys so much. Worth Music's my name.
Worth, that was so phenomenal. Amanda and Jenny, I'm so happy you're here. Tell us a bit more about where people can reach you and your tour dates.
Weareworth.com is my website that has all the links on it and stuff, and my handle's @WorthMusic on Twitter and Instagram and all those things.
Awesome.
Wednesday nights, Star Theater, 6 to 9 o'clock. It's free. It's a really good scene, good energy. I'd love you guys to come and partake. The featured artist this week is ridiculous too, if you like this kind of music.
Awesome, awesome. And you brought in the two lovely ladies from Acoustic Minds. Amanda, Jenny, tell us where we could find you this summer and your social media links.
You can find us at Acoustic Minds Music on all social platforms. And we will be, our next show will be at Oregon Country Fair with this guy, playing a bunch of shows this weekend there. And let's see, our next Portland show. Gosh, there's so many. Just look on our Facebook page and you'll be able to check out one of those. Thanks, guys.
Round of applause, everybody. Guys, I told you, we have incredible talent here in Portland. This is episode 21 of Live in Portland here at the Secret Society. Thank you so much for coming out. I need a round of applause for all the artists that graced our stage. Another round of applause for yourselves for coming out and being part of a community that has so much energy. I love you all so much. Sexy Marvin, take it away.